Hey guys, this is Sharon with SNS Cake Bakery Tips and Tricks, and today I will be showing you a full tutorial on how I made this delicious looking rack of ribs cake, so please stay tuned for more. So in this first step, you're basically going to get the shape of the cake. It's not very detailed, so you're just basically carving the back side of the cake and rounding it off. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm still carving out sections of the cake and just adding in a little bit more detail so that way this cake actually looks like a set of ribs. Now we will be moving on to crumb coating the cake, and this is a very simple step in the process. And you don't want to load the cake down with too much buttercream because you will not be able to see the crevices that you carved into the cake, but you also want to make sure that you have enough so that way the fondant actually adheres to the cake. Now that you have added the buttercream and have allowed it to crumb coat in the fridge for 30 minutes, you can begin adding the fondant to the exterior of the cake. So this is a very simple process as well, as you may know, and you definitely want to make sure your fondant is not too thick so that way you can see the detail in the cake. In this step, you're basically just going to be smoothing out the surface of the cake and just sharpening up those edges just to make sure it looks like an actual bone could possibly be there. So, that's just basically what you're going to be going for in this step. It's not too difficult, but also very important as well. Here is where you're going to be adding the bones to the opposite side of the cake, and you're just going to cut out small sections of white fondant and glue them using water or any type of edible fondant glue to the cake so that way it actually looks like ribs. All right, so here is where the fun is beginning. Here is where we're also beginning to see the cake come alive. As you can see here, I'm adding more details to the cake. I'm not sure what the name of this tool is, but it's an awesome tool for adding texture to your cake. And as you can see here, I'm just, simply brushing it on the back side to give it that meaty, textured look. Okay, so I'm going to admit here, this part was a little annoying to me. My airbrush machine kind of spit out paint and it was very frustrating, but at the same time, it turned out well because it looks like seasoning is on the cake. And, you know, that fits with what I'm going for, so I will take it. All right, and so just to finish up the cake, I have a torch that I'm using just to burn the exterior a little bit to make it look like it was actually on a grill, and also to add more of a meaty look or texture. I brushed the sides as well and added a little bit of red paint so that way, you know, it looks realistic. So it's not really too much of a difficult cake to make. It's very simple, very fun. And you know, to add that more saucy look, I just added some strawberry syrup and chocolate syrup and a little bit of brown sugar for the seasoning. So there you have it. Here's my rack of ribs cake, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And please, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.